As we head into the holiday weekend, COVID-19 numbers are getting worse. The virus is now causing more than 1 death per minute in this country. With that backdrop, more is being done to try to stop the spread, including something we haven't seen since the early days of the pandemic, COVID checkpoints. Here's Amber Cagliano.
It's a disturbing sight on the eve of Thanksgiving. People heading into New York City stopped and told to quarantine. There are pop-up checkpoints like this one near the Lincoln Tunnel, as well as at other crossings into Manhattan and train and bus stations. Authorities say that quarantine regulations will be strictly enforced. Those who don't get tested or defy quarantine orders face up to $2,000 in fines. This startling radar image shows America on the move. Despite all the warnings, more than 6,000 planes in the air. Meanwhile, Dr. Mike, dubbed the sexiest doctor alive by People magazine, is under fire today for party-hardy photos in Miami where no one seemed to be wearing a mask or much else. Video shows the doctor, who has 10 million social media followers, cracking the neck of a bikini-clad woman. That's after telling the rest of us,
the one thing that works for everybody is 6 feet away from others, no matter if you're swimming or on land, making sure your face is covered when you're out of the water.
News of a potential COVID-19 vaccine is fanning hopes in the airline industry of a return to unrestricted, or at least less restrictive, travel. But passengers may only be allowed to do it if they can prove they have been vaccinated. The CEO of Qantas, Alan Joyce, says the Australian airline is planning to make passenger immunisation mandatory for all international travel. Etihad's chief has previously said that health certificates would help the industry's recovery. Airlines have suffered huge economic losses due to measures aimed at slowing the spread of the virus.
People who have tested positive for coronavirus and who have isolated themselves for 2 weeks could be offered a so-called freedom pass for at least 90 days, which would allow them to return to normal life. Scientists believe that though it is possible to catch coronavirus again after being infected, this is extremely unlikely, and especially so in the first few months after infection. According to government scientific advisor Professor Sir John Bell, this scheme would create an incentive for people to be tested and would help to end lockdowns. Bell suggested that mass regular testing should be introduced, meaning people who wish to do so would be tested every couple of days. If they maintain negative results, they should be allowed to get back to normal activities, including using public transport, going to sporting events or the cinema. The government has come under fire for introducing lockdowns without a clear exit strategy. A Freedom Pass scheme could become part of this strategy to get Britain back to normal life. However, some have criticised this suggestion as it may incentivise people to attempt to catch coronavirus in order to gain a Freedom Pass. Another important part of ending lockdowns will be the rollout of a vaccine for the virus. Earlier this week, Pfizer announced their vaccine had proved 90% effective and 50 million doses would be available by the end of this year worldwide if regulators give the green light. However, Deputy Chief Medical Officer Jonathan Van Tam played down vaccines as the cure to the pandemic.
Because the one thing we know about these vaccines at the moment is that they will prevent illness due to SARS-CoV-2, due to the COVID-19 virus, as diagnosed by PCR. That's all we know. We do not know yet if these vaccines will prevent asymptomatic infection, and therefore we do not know if these vaccines will prevent virus shedding and therefore have an effect on community transmission.
The list of businesses that need to close for 2 weeks after 4 or more rapid response visits is growing. In southeast New Mexico, grocery stores in several communities had to close. News 13's Corey King shows us some towns only have 1 grocery store open now, leading to long lines.
Before they thought, well, the virus, it's not going to affect me, but when it starts to affect their family, now they're starting to understand that it's real.
The New Mexico Health Department shut down 2 grocery stores in Roswell because of too many rapid responses because of COVID-19 exposures. In Carlsbad and Hobbs, they are down to 1 grocery store in each community after the other was closed for 2 weeks by the health department. Residents say this is causing some people to panic.
The governor put in a new edict. I knew things would be crazy, and I'm not crazy, but if everybody else is crazy, then you kind of have to react to that. And so I wanted to go pick up a few things just to make sure that I didn't have to go out this weekend or any other time. And I pulled into the parking lot at Walmart at 6:58, and I did not walk into the store till 8:10.
Michelle Martin said the lines this morning to get into Walmart stretched about a half a mile in Roswell. Now people are saying when the store closes for 2 weeks, it greatly affects families and their communities.
I already had my business closed. We thought we could make it because he has his job, we'll be okay. And now with this happening, we don't know how we're going to make ends meet.
Just to give you an idea how bad the spread is in southeast New Mexico, we looked into the cases from Wednesday. Like Curry County, who reported 89 cases yesterday. 89 cases in Curry County is like having 2,700 cases in a single day in Bernalillo County. In Chaves County, 191 cases would be like having 1,900 cases in Bernalillo County.
You go in, you see, one or two people wearing a mask, and nobody's wearing a mask. So it's like, I don't understand why people are downplaying this virus, because it's serious.
A zip code in Roswell ranked second highest in the state for infections in a single day.
I mean, you have the elderly waiting in line, standing out there. I mean, luckily it was a nice cool morning, but you had people in wheelchairs doing the same thing, or people with their children. And this is the mass hysteria that's being created by this.
Corey King, KRQB News 13.
The Department of Health says it evaluates closures to make sure they won't greatly impact a community, and they try not to close all the grocery stores in a town. They say they try to work with businesses to keep them open.
The curfew in Southern California. These protesters gathered in Huntington Beach past 10 p.m. to boycott Governor Newsom's order. The Orange County Sheriff's Office, as well as other Southern California law enforcement, said they would not enforce the curfew, but were aware and planning for last night's unlawful assembly. No word on any citations.